Well, I recall very well, very fantastic memory. The first time I met you to work with you, Nali, was in Leipzig in 2001, October
Leipzig,
2001.
yeah.
Yeah,
Rock
yeah.
music. Yeah.
Yeah, and I left you a note. I left you a little note at the hotel desk. I said, Colin is here, da, 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 da. And then
Yeah.
you left me another note with a Nali cartoon, which you drew and a message.
Yeah.
And it said that on that day you were hanging out on Venus or some, it was some very bizarre message.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, this looks very, very interesting. We're going to have a fun week here. And I think my experience working with you is we both have a strong, passionate concept of the music, and we want all the details to be correct and the balances and the ideas, and everything must be very strong and carefully presented and as complete as possible, the musical and artistic vision. But at the same time, we're going to have the biggest, wildest time on stage possible. And that's how I feel when I perform your music. It's a combination of head and an exploding heart. How do you feel?
Exactly the same. And in addition to that, I must confess you that when I'm with you on the stage, and I have a large orchestra, like last time in Stockholm, where we did Into the Open, or New World Symphony Orchestra. We did it there. Into the Open, in a way, has many passages which are more difficult than in rough music. In rough music, only the Ives passage in the second movement, where they da 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 da. That is where the organized chaos is. But Into the Open, we have a lot of chaotic situations, and my experience working with you on stage was always, whenever I had you on stage, I don't care about you. I just beat, and I can be sure that you are always on the beat. And this is the best gift a musician can give to a conductor, because probably you expect from a conductor that he is listening to you, but you are listening, you are watching the conductor, and you are producing the utmost quality of precision. I even have not to read the notes, because I concentrate to what the orchestra does. And 5 bars later, I just have a look. Is he with me? Ah, yeah, he is there. So you can sleep for the next 20 bars and concentrate to the orchestra. Colin will be there anyway. Yeah. So
yeah,
this gives me a security. This is fantastic. So this is and another thing which I owe to you, especially in Into the Open, because in Into the Open you rearranged my instrumentation of the editing, which we see in the score, comes from you, because I have used in my very first version a few instruments and did not take care about the world of praxis. Yeah. And so, without asking me about each note which you changed, not notes, you changed the instruments. You made it on your own, and I didn't ask you to show me all your decisions, and I did not ask you if you can explain your decisions. I was completely. I trusted you completely, and the result is tells me that I was right. Give you the freedom to decide to make a new Colin edition of what I have written, because the first version which I wrote was too complicated. I mean, for instance, you would go on tour with Into the Open. Rather not possible. You would need about 2 wagons of instruments. So, but for a few concerts, and if you get the instruments by the promoter, 6 timpanis, probably good timpanis you will get by the promoter. So you only have probably 2 suitcases.
Yeah, this piece is in the category of 2 suitcases. Yeah.
Yeah, you can manage such a thing. For instance, if you when we did it in with the New World Symphony Orchestra in Miami Beach, you came with only 2 suitcases to Miami Beach?
Yeah, 2 suitcases full of tuned cowbells, temple blocks, and 1 pair of swim shorts.
Yeah.
To Miami Beach.
Yeah.
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 But I remember I did take care of a couple of things. For example, there's one section that's now what I think works really well as a vibraphone solo. Sort of coming towards the final sections, this this thing, really cool. Originally that was on rototoms, which would have been great, but I think scaled back or focused into the vibraphone even better.
Yeah. By the way, I saw today, because I have the score in front of me, I see the rototoms are still there. We have to...
What a scandal. We've got a rototom scandal on our hands.
Well, solo percussion instruments. There's a list of the solo percussion instruments. The rototoms are still there, but not
but there are only 5 pitches, and they're with the timpani. So that's actually okay.
You use the rototoms?
Yeah. Just not as that melodic.
At the very end, where the timpani is so high.
Yeah.
I see. And that makes sure you get the right pitch.
Well, if it's good enough for Stravinsky and Agon, it's good enough for you.
I see. Oh, Agon, by the way, is one of my favorite pieces. But do you? I've seen that on the list of the solo percussion instruments, the crotales are missing.
Ooh.
Yeah, we have to tell it to GDS. There are crotales on page 31.
Yeah, definitely them.
It's not on the list. Yeah, but no problem for you and anybody else, because anybody who studies the score will discover after 30.
And they can hear this fantastic new recording, let's say, since we're doing that today.
Oh yeah, what is this? Yeah, and there is another thing what I wanted to say about my soloists. I have written a few solo concertos, like piano concerto for Mani Ax and cello concerto for Yo-Yo Ma, or 2, in fact 3 pieces for Håkan Hardenberger. And what I discovered was that when you write for a soloist, you can forget the question, what is possible on this instrument and what is not possible. And for instance, when I wrote my cello concerto, I asked Yo-Yo, how is it with the double stops? Double stops. He said, don't take care about this. I can play each double stop. And if there is one note too much, I play it with my nose. And I had experienced the same with you and the same with Håkan. You, as a soloist, you are a magician. You take what I wrote, stupid composer, had visions in my brain, and you put it to your breast, and you say, hocus pocus, and there's a piece. It's a magician, yeah. It's something which is the inner, this process between what a composer had in his mind, a dream, and a soloist who is fulfilling the dream. And there are not many soloists on this planet who really are fulfilling dreams. So you are one of these, so like Håkan. I just, by the way, had a 24th of October, I heard him playing Ariel in Grafeneck.
Great.
It was one of the very best Ariel performances I ever heard. So
that's great.
Yeah, it was again this experience. There is a magician making a world of what I just had written with my pencil to a piece of paper.